Hello guys, welcome to this video. I'll be looking at the NECO Computer Studies Practicals 2023. In the previous video, I'd already treated the number 1A and B aspects. Okay, so for this video, I want to look at number 2A and hopefully the B part also. Okay, so let's begin. The question says, use Microsoft Excel to perform the tasks below. So application here. Use Times New Roman font face with font size 16 all through except stated otherwise. Okay, so let me just highlight this. Okay, so we're going to come back to this and then reproduce the table above. Okay, so let's first of all reproduce the table above. So I want you to be mindful of this. So this row and column here. So of course here this is the column letters, and then these are the row numbers. So of course by default is already in Excel, so you don't have to repeat that when you're creating your table. Okay, so let's load Excel. First of all, let's load Excel. I want to start with a new sheet, and let me just minimize this a bit. How do I do this now? Okay, so let me just also bring this one down a bit like this. Okay, so I'll be able to create this table here. So from here, I have A1 here. So I'm going to have payroll in A1. Payroll, and in fact, let me mark. Okay, let me not do that yet. Let me just finish my table, and then I have date. Date will be A2 date, and then the next one will be 1/1/2023 dates. So we're good with that, and I think I need to merge the cell. Okay, so let me first of all look at. Okay, it stops at E8. So let me just do something here. Let me just select everything till okay. Let me just from here till G. Okay, G here. So let me just have border right here. Okay, good. So the date, so I'm going to merge the cell here. So I'm going to select everything here, and then I'm going to go to merge cell. So let me merge across. Oops. So let me align it to the left. Okay. So it will look like what we have in our question. So let me just also bring this one up a little further. So 3 will be staff number. Then I'll have staff name. Then hourly. Oh, what am I doing? Hourly rate. And then I have hours worked. After that, I have gross pay, and I'll have tax, and then of course net pay. All right. Okay, good. So we have to remember that. Let me just select everything and then make it to be Times New Roman. Make the font to be Times New Roman, and ensure that the font will be 16, just as stated in the question, right? Which is the first one. So this first one here, right? Times New Roman font face with font size 16 throughout. So we want to make sure that we've done that. So we're going to adjust the table later on. So let's just continue having our data in there. So so the fourth one, the fourth row, I'm going to have E. I'm going to have E 0, 0, 0, 0 in 4 places, and then 0, 1. I'm going to have, okay, so let me just populate that serially. So I'm going to have, sorry, let me just have 2 right there. So it's going to run from 1 to 5, I guess. No, from 1 to 5, right? Good stuff. So that's a series. Okay, so let's have Ford. Ford for staff name here. Really? Okay. I have 7 here. Then have 35. Then have minor. Sorry, what am I doing? So minor will have to go here to this point. Okay. So minor will have A, and then of course 30. Sorry, 30. And then of course 2 will be Bell. Is that 2? That's 3 actually. Let me just be sure that my data is shown. So that's 3. 3 will be Bell. And then of course 6 hourly worked. Okay, so I'm gonna arrange everything at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm gonna have B right here. Oh, sorry, let me just have in capital letter. So B. So the fourth one. So let me just scroll down a bit. So the fourth one will be Davis, and then of course 9 and 40 and 40, and then the next one will be 2, and then 10, and then 3, 36. It's gonna be 36. Okay, so I think everything is done here. So let me make this to show in full. Have my question shown in full also. So what I'm going to attempt to do is to make my work to look like what we have on this place, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is to make sure that all my labels are showing, and then ensure that you know, the row 3, which is the staff number, the number falls down, and then of course name falls down, and rate, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to just actually use the text wrap to do all those. So let me first of all, let me select from here to here, and then double click and make sure that all my data is showing pretty well. So what I'm going to do here is just to select these and then go to wrap text here, click on it. So by the time I adjust this particular row, it's going to fall down. So I'm going to push this, move this down a little further, and then do the same thing for the rest. So let me just adjust this also, and then they will kind of fall down. And let me see gross pay. Let me see how gross pay looks like. Okay, so I think it's just within the cell width. So these are more like aligned to the top, right? So they're aligned to the top. So I'm going to simply align them to the top, right there. The tax and the net pay, I think they're all aligned to the top. So, and then I don't know, maybe center aligned or something. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that actually. Okay. So this is the best we can do for, okay, so every other thing is center aligned. Everything here, they're all center aligned. So I'm going to just select everything here and then make sure they are all center aligned from what the question is showing here. Yeah. So I think, okay, so these also, I think they're center aligned too. So I'm going to center them. Yeah, let me just push them to the top just to make it consistent with the rest. Let me see. Okay, good stuff. So I think we've succeeded in making it look like what we have in the question paper. So we can go ahead with the application question, right? Okay. So we've created the table. We've reproduced the table above. So I merge and center the content in row 1. Okay. Merge and center the content in row 1. So you want to go to row 1. You want to select everything here. You want to go to merge and center, and then click on that, and then that will apply. So we've done this now. So IV, change this date here, okay, to a long date format and center align it, okay. So the dates here, which is 2023 here. So we want to change it to a long date, right? So you want to right click and then go to format cell. So another way to get to this place will be just to make sure you select the cell and then go to the number group here. You want to enlarge it. You want to, yeah, click on the dialog box launcher button there. So you will get it here. So you want to click on dates. You want to make sure that you click on dates here. You want to choose the long date here. Okay. I don't know if this is the one I want. Okay. So this is the long date actually. So it will have Sunday, 1st January 2023. Okay. So that's quite correct. And then center align it. So you want to click on it and then make sure it's center aligned. Right. So that done. So V using Tahoma font phase with the font size 16, type all the content in row 3. Tahoma, okay. So you want to select everything in row 3 here. You want to go look for Tahoma. Let me see, just type it Tahoma and then enter. Okay, so of course it's already in font. The font size is already 16, so we are good. So another thing you want to do is to adjust these to align with what we have in our, So let me center it actually. Sorry, let me just center it. Okay, so this is okay. This is using Tahoma font phase with the font size 16. Type all the content in row 3. So we are good with that. Row 3, we are good with you. Now, VI wrap text. Well, I don't know. Wrap text all content in row 3 to make it visible. Okay. So we've already done that. I think we've done that. We've already wrapped the text initially, so everything is visible, right? So we're good with that. So I'm going to square that out. Then VII, apply thick border to row 1. Apply thick box border. Sorry, what am I saying? Apply thick box border to row 1. Okay. So let's have row 1. This is row 1 here. So you want to get to border here, border icon. You want to have the thick outside border. So I'm just going to click on that, and then I'm good with that. Okay. All right. So let's see. So that is done. I don't know how thick they want it, but they just say thick. So any thick one is okay. So I think this one is a bit thick, so we're good with that. So if you want to go control the thickness, you can obviously go here, and then of course increase your thickness if you want to, any one of them. So for me, I think I'm good with the thickness I have. Okay. All right. Embolden and italicize the content in row 3. Okay. So in row 3, we have our staff number and or whatnot. So we want to select it. You want to make it bold. What's next? Embolden and italicize the content in row 3. So we want to make it also italic, right? So ensure to also keep adjusting your the content of your cell to look like what you have on your table. So I'm going to adjust this, and then I don't have problem with the rest. So we're good with this. All right, good. So that done. So IX replace content of C5 with the first digits and content of D6 with the last 2 digits of your registration number respectively. So look at your registration number and then replace the content of C5 with the first digits. Okay, so the first digits. Okay, so C5, let's see C5. This is C5 here. So the first digit. So obviously your original number will contain probably letters or something like that. But make sure you go to the side that contains digits, right? So let me assume that mine contains I guess let's say 5. So let me just put 5 in there. Okay. So 5, 2, 3, NG or NA all those kind of stuff. So let's see. And then you also said D6 with the last 2 digits. So my last 2 digits, let's assume it's maybe 34, something like that, 34. Okay, will be my last 2 digits. So I will replace it with a D6 with the content of D6. So which is what they're saying here. So all this done. So we've done that now. So X, calculate the gross pay for each staff using the formula hourly rate multiplied by hours worked and state the cell reference used. Okay, so hourly rate multiplied by hours worked will give us the gross pay. So let's see. So this is a gross pay, hourly rates here, and then hours worked. Okay, so you want to have equals, you want to take hourly rate and then multiply by hourly worked and then enter. Okay, so that will give you 245, and then I can drag down to replicate my formula, and that will calculate the rest for me, right? So that's one. So we've done that, right? So the next part of the question is to state the cell references used. Okay, so the cell references, so more like I need to show the formula, right? I need to show the formula. But what I'm going to do here, I'm not just going to show we know how we can show the formula. If I have maybe more like an apostrophe in here, something like that, let me just remove one apostrophe and enter, so the formula will remain instead of the value. I don't want that because it's going to mess up my subsequent calculation. So what I'm going to do, so let me just have it like that. So I'm going to just come to this side, this place. I'm going to, or maybe just let me just have only one. Let me just omit one column. Just come to this side. I want to have let me see quick question again. The cell reference, let me see, yeah, gross pay cell reference. Let me just have it like this: gross pay cell reference, something like that. Cell ref. Let me just have it as cell ref. Okay, so I'm going to have the formula by the side here instead of like, you know, changing this. So if you have any other better way to do this, you can leave a comment down below, and then everybody can also learn. So I'm going to have this here. So I'm going to use a formula here. Let me just use a formula text. Okay, a function called formula text to actually bring out the formula used in gross pay column, right? So I'm going to just close that and then enter. So it will reproduce the formula used or cell reference used, right? So that's what I'm going to do here. Okay, so this one will answer that question. So let me just make it what's it called, you know, bold and maybe italic. Nah, let me just make it bold. Let me just leave it italic part. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this here. Okay, so that answers the question. So after calculating the gross pay, so you need to bring out the formula or the cell reference here, right? So that's what you're going to do. Okay, so X done. So the next one will be XI. Use 10% of gross pay as the value of tax for each row. Okay, 10% of gross pay, right? Good. So this is the tax. So we want to calculate the tax. So the tax will be 10%. So equals 10%. 10% multiplied by, which is off, gross pay, right? Where's gross pay here? Gross pay. Am I correct? Yeah, I'm correct. So you enter that. Okay. So this will calculate the 10% of gross pay, which is this, right? Which is a 24.5, right? And then you can now replicate your formula. So of course 10% of 150 is 15 and all that. Okay. So you can also use the mathematical aspect. You can go ahead. Let me just show an example here. Let me just give an example here. If you want to calculate a percentage also, you can also use something like 10% will be, let me just put 10% will be 10 divided by 100. Okay, and then you close the bracket and then multiply it with 245. Sorry, I don't put a equal sign for you to know that it's a formula. So let's have that and then multiply that with this cell reference, which is E4. Okay, so if you enter, it's still going to give you the same thing, right? So however you work on percentage, you can work it out and make sure you state it well, and then it will give you the right answer. Okay, so I think that is done. So let's see. Use 10% of gross pay as the value of tax for each row. So we've done that now. So XII, calculate their net pay using the formula gross pay minus tax. Okay, so net pay will be gross pay minus tax. Okay, gross pay minus tax. So you want to do equal sign. Gross pay will be this minus tax will give us the net pay. Enter. So this will give us the net pay. So I'm going to replicate that formula also. Okay. Calculate the net pay using the formula gross pay minus tax, which we've done, and state the cell reference used. Okay. Okay. So net pay. So let me just also have. So let me write net pay here also. Net pay cell ref, something like that. Okay. Wrap it up again and then make it visible. Want it bold, and then let's use our normal formula text. Let me just select that, and I'm interested in net pay. All right, I'm interested in that, and then I can enter, and then it gives me the formula and the cell reference used for the calculation. So I'm going to leave it here, so at least the examiner will be able to see what I've done and then the cell reference used. Okay, so that is okay. All right, so this is it here. So this is done. The cell reference used has been inserted. So XIII, insert a new row between row 7 and row 8. Okay, so let me see. Row 7 and row 8 will be somewhere in between 7 and 8 here. So I'm just going to right click here and then insert, and that will give me a new row. So that's done. So let me see the next part of the question. Key in your registration number and the full name in cells A8 and B8 respectively. So this A8 here. So let me have something like normally let me just have something like E. Let me just be consistent, maybe EN or E, whatever. EN. So let me just assume that your reg number contains some type of letters, right? So I want to have something like 4 something 54, something like this as my reg number. I normally use 0004, but let me just use this for for the sake of it. And then my name will be here, will be in B8, Ikechukwu Anolefu, right? I'm going to have my name here. So let me adjust the column here just to contain within what I have here. So I need to make it left aligned or something. Or should I make it center? I need to make it center to be consistent, something like that. So let me just leave it as center. Okay. So I think we're good with this. So my name is there, and then my reg number is already here. So that's cool. Okay. Right. So XIV, insert a new column between column F and G and leave it blank. F and G. So a new column will be F and G here. So I need to just right click up in G, the column, and then insert, and then it's going to create a new column for me. So they say I should leave it blank. So I'm leaving everything like that. I don't need to touch anything. Okay. So insert a new column between column F and G. So that column F and G becomes the G, right? Okay, so the G becomes H. something like that. Okay, that's cool. So save your work and print out the hard copy in this is XV, please. Save your work and print out the hard copy in landscape orientation. Okay. So the wise thing always is to save your work before anything. So I forgot to do that, but always make sure you save your work before you proceed. So I'm going to go to desktop. Where's let me look for NECO. So I'm going to save my work right here. So let me have my work as Kuchipu Anolefo. Let me say A spreadsheet. Spreadsheet NECO, something like that. So you can choose to save your own anyhow you want it. Since the question never indicated how you should, so but it's always good to save it inside a folder. Okay, so we're going to print now. So we want to go to, okay, so let me also, in fact, let me just put border around these ones too. Okay. What do I want? I want everything here. I want everything inside. So yep, I'm okay with that. Okay, so you want to go to file, you want to go to print. So you want to make sure it's in landscape. Where's landscape? You want to make sure it's in landscape so that everything will be shown. Okay, so our printout will look like this. Okay, so always it is important for you to have your something is missing. So some stuff is missing. So what I'm going to do here is, okay, let me just bring down this. Okay, so let me just copy these guys. Let me cut these guys. In fact, let me cut them and then let me paste them here just to contain within my, so let me just paste them right here. Okay, so I don't think it matters that much. Okay, so I'm going to simply remove this borders here, no border here. So let me just repeat these ones. Let me just have border around these ones. Sorry, may have border around these ones. Obviously there has to be border around this one, and then of course I need to make sure that my thick border still exists within the first what's it called, the first row. Okay, so I think I will leave everything like this and then delete this column. I don't need it here. So everything will look good. So these are the first references that we use. So I'm going to leave it the way it is here, right? So just for it to contain within the printout, you can actually fit it into one page. You can actually like adjust it in such a way that it will fit on one page. But you know, it may seem small. You can actually adjust it if you want to print it to the left. That is this particular the cell references. Anyhow you want to do it actually. So you can actually make it to fit within one page. So let me just, in fact, let me just do it so you see what I mean. So let me just cut this one again. Let me just go here and paste them. Oh, sorry, I didn't cut them. I didn't select before I cut. So let me just cut it. Let me cut it and then paste them right here. Let me paste them here and then go to my file, go to print. So of course they're not going to show. So you want to actually fit them in a single page and then they will all show, as you can see. So you can, so anyhow you want it, you can actually print. You know, you can actually make it look anyhow you want it to print it. I don't think it's bad actually. I don't think it's bad. So you can actually print it this way actually. Okay. So one thing you have to make sure is that your name, your center number, and your candidate number is on every printout. So by virtue of this question, your name appears there, and then of course your registration number appears there. But for the sake of it, you can actually go to also, you can actually, you know, have it in the footer or the header of your printout. Okay, so you can go to page setup here, you can go to header, you can customize the header, you can have your name here. So let me assume my name. Let me just write my name first of all, Anolefo Kechuku Anolefo, and then comma, and then have my, let me assume that my serial number is 004 or something like this, and then any other information you need to add, and then okay that and okay that, so that it will appear here. Okay, just for emphasis purposes. Okay, so every printout, all your printouts should have your information. Okay, So I think that's about it for this 2A. So you can go ahead and print your work. So, all right. So that is it for this. So let's go to B. So the B part, state 2 precautions taken while performing the tasks in 2A. There are a lot of precautions you can write. So I'd answer the questions here. 2A, ensured data was double checked for accuracy, blah 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 blah. I ensured that the right page orientation was used. So you can also, or you can look at all this. Okay. So the other questions, what are the actions of the following keyboard command in Excel, in Microsoft Excel? So shift plus space bar. So what I have here is select the entire row in a worksheet. So if let's test it out actually. So if I click here, right, anywhere I am, and then press shift space bar, it's going to select the entire row. So anywhere you are, if I click here now and then press down shift and then space bar, is going to select the entire row. Okay, so that's what the shortcut's about. And then we'll have control plus minus. Okay, delete a row in a worksheet or delete selected rows in a worksheet. Okay, let's try that out. So let's assume I selected rows, right? So let's assume I selected these rows, about 3 rows right now, and then I press control minus. That would delete the whole row, right? Let me undo that. Control Z. Okay. So if I click anywhere here, let's say I click maybe anywhere here, and then press control minus, it's going to ask you, do you want to delete the cell to the left or to the right, So if I want to delete the whole row, I can choose entire row and then okay that, and then it's going to get off the entire row, right? So you can actually you can choose to control minus, you can choose to shift the cells left. So if I okay this now, it's going to remove the content of the cell that I selected and then shift the rest of the row to the left. So let me okay that. So it's going to shift the 10, every other thing to the left, something like that. So you can actually experiment on that. So that's why I wrote it deletes a row in a worksheet or delete selected row. So you can delete a cell, a content of a cell. So so this is actually the answer. So you can also experiment and then find and add to this answer. So what's the next one? The next one will be, what is a spreadsheet? What did I write here? Let me see what I put down here. A spreadsheet is a computer program that can capture, display, and manipulate data arranged in rows and columns. Spreadsheet packages help sort, filter, organize, and rearrange data efficiently, as well as calculate numerical data using formulae and functions. Okay. All right. So those are the ones I was able to get together. So give 4 examples of a spreadsheet package. There are a lot of them. If you go online, you're gonna see a lot. So I wrote here Microsoft Excel, so many of them here. Apple numbers. How many have I used here? I don't think I've used them much. Maybe LibreOffice, I've used that. I've used Apple numbers, yeah. And then maybe, of course, Google Sheet, obviously. And then Bluetooth 123, I don't think I've used it before. Microsoft Excel, I've done that. I've used that. Okay, so you can actually find your solutions here. Okay, so I think that's about it. Everything has been done. All right, so thank you so much for this video. Don't forget to share the video, subscribe to my channel, because I'll always be dropping something on past papers in Nigerian content. Okay, so thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.